right, so I'm excited, because I love when I'm able to provide solutions for my viewers, right?
Yeah,
And so my
yeah.
viewers are 90% women, ages
Okay,
25 to 65, 70. Okay.
nice.
And they don't miss any of the wine that we drop over here. We do a lot of relationship based wine and stuff. And I
Okay.
came across your profile the other day, chasing Yonci, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay, and you are a dating coach.
I am kind of stumbled into it.
How did you stumble into becoming a dating coach?
Oh, child. Okay, it's a whole story, but I'll try to give you the cliff notes.
Okay, cool.
So basically, I graduated from college and instantly got married. I was one of those ones just itching to get married. I did 12 years.
Okay.
And then I
You
made the
stop making it
difficult
sound
decision.
like a prison sentence. I did 12 years. Look,
I mean, it was hard time. It was I got
it was
out of
hard
the
as fuck.
behavior.
Damn. Okay.
When
Mm-hmm.
you don't know, yeah, when you don't know what you're doing and you're not, I should say, aligned, it can be difficult. I try my best to not speak in specifics, about my ex-husband because it's not his choice to be in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
But I will just say it was extremely difficult, and it took a lot for me to walk away. Most women, it takes a lot to walk away. We're not
Okay.
casually divorcing. So I chose to do that after 12 years and 2 children, and I found myself in the dating streets, and I would get hollered at all the time when I was married. I just told them I wasn't interested. So I thought, oh, it's gonna be easy, piece of cake. I'll be having dates. It was not. It was so confusing. There was so much I didn't understand. It was not straightforward. I like you, you like me. We go together. Like it was not. So I created a separate page because being in social media, you're not trying to have everyone your business.
Right.
I made a separate page and I just started asking the questions. I asked men, why y'all do this? What is this? What do you ghost for? What, like, I literally just asked questions that you would ask your guy friends. And after a while, traction started building where men they wanted to have the damsel in distress. And then other men wanted to see what other guys said to see if they were aligned. And then of course the women were in the background, like with popcorn, just like me. And so after a while, people were like speaking to me as though I was an influencer. And I was like, I am some suburban, single mom just trying to get answers. And I actually had a professional reach out to me, and he was like proverbially shaking my shoulders, going, "Man, you have a gift. You need to do this for real, for real." And so I did it for years in my Facebook community online just for fun. And he kind of shoved me onto YouTube, and shoved me onto Instagram. Best decision ever. But I hesitate to say I'm an expert. I just am an expert in the things I messed up on. And I can tell you what not to do and the things that worked for me. And I keep a poll that keep my finger to the pulse of men. And I think that's the thing that differentiates me. Just to close this up, with me and other people, I think a lot of times they give their opinion or they speak from their personal experience. Every single thing that I say, I have questioned men and wanted to make sure that they agree. And I actually invite that. I call it the male cosign, because I don't want to be out here saying things, pandering to women, making them feel good. And men are like, that ain't it. So my followers are like 45% men, which I wish it was more women, because that's my
Well, they're
audience.
probably looking for women.
They rocking with me, yeah. And
Okay.
they sent their girlfriends to me, their wives to me. My exes have sent their girlfriends to me. So it's a whole thing. Yeah, I
So
hear
you
funny stories.
repairing relationships too?
Mhm, mhm. Oh, I do coaching for couples. That's my favorite, but I don't really talk about it. But that is my
Yeah.
absolute favorite is communication. Because a lot of times what we're saying is being lost in translation. And a lot of times men don't know how to speak female. So he will say something and they don't know we need it wrapped a certain way. We need it spritzed with some perfume, need to be soft in texture. You can't just come at us sometimes. So I'll interpret a lot of times the couples are like, oh, okay, he's a good dude or she's a good chick. We're missing each other. So it's fun.
Okay. So on your profile, it says, I will show you how to properly vet men and tap into your feminine energy and attract true love.
Yes.
And then you offer want to know 22 places to meet men offline. We're gonna talk about that
Mm.
in a little bit. Hold that thought. They gotta
It,
listen to the rest of the interview because I ain't gonna
it's
lie.
hard to be a person.
You don't understand how many times I get asked that question. Like they could be 50s, 60s. I want to get out and date. I'm like, well, you gotta get down there to the bingo hall. That's what I tell them. Get down
But
there
a
to the
lot of
bingo
times,
hall.
There might be men, but women don't know what to do to give men choosing signals. So that's the problem.
Mm.
When I talk to women, they think through the eyes of women. Men don't have that luxury, not because they're the better species, because they would get none if they didn't pay attention. They have to understand the way women work, or else they would get no love. And there are a lot of men who aren't getting any love right now. The record numbers, supposedly. But with women, because
Whoa,
we're
whoa,
the
whoa, 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 whoa,
recipients,
whoa, 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 whoa. What? Because the one thing that I hear all the time is that it's hard to find men. It's hard to find, just men with money, men who
mhm.
want something, men who are fun. And you're saying there are lots of men out here in record numbers. Now, are we talking about all men, or are we just talking about black men? What are you talking about
I didn't say they
specifically?
were desirable. Because a lot of people who hit me up and say I can't get women, I go to their page and I'm like, I might know why. Okay, so I'm not saying that the desirable ones, but a lot of women are wanting something that don't come in high numbers. So you don't have a ton of guys with emotional intelligence. That's why it's amazing when you meet someone. Or if a guy is really financially successful, he is well built, he's well versed, he has swag. Those guys tend to have their pick of the litter. And a lot of women don't want to see it that way, that, they have choices. So they're not going for what a man might consider an 8 or a 7 or a 6. You have a lot of women who are just average women. I don't want to use the term from a very famous guy, but there are women
That's
who are
my
just
dog, though, by
average.
the way. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, but go ahead.
I don't say names, but hey.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It's cool. It's cool.
But that's the thing too. I mean, I know I'm all over the place, but there's a lot of delusion when it comes to women. And, I like to call myself the auntie. I'm gonna tell you like it is, but I'm going to do it with love. And I think a lot of podcasters, they don't do it with love. So a lot of times the women overlook it. But the reality is a lot of women don't understand their market value. And so when I say that, it's like if you are, selling something in a garage sale, you probably seen those people who are really attached to something. It could be a blanket their granny gave. No one's paying $50 for that. Like, it has sentimental value to you. But to the average person, it looks like a piece of crap that they wouldn't even pay anything for. They'd throw it in the trash. So I'm not in any way comparing women to trash. It was a horrible example if you're thinking I'm literally saying that. But
It's
we have
okay.
to understand our market value. So take me, for example. I'm not in the same shape I was in my 20s when I got married. I have more quote unquote baggage than I did. I was single. I was a virgin. I didn't have, a lot of relationship history. Now I have 2 kids. I'm divorced. So I have to be realistic and say, I'm not competing with a 20 something, year old. It's one thing to be like, yes, we're all fabulous. We are. But there's still the reality level of it. Just like a guy, if he's only 5'7", he's not getting the same options as a man who's 6'3" and built. It's we live in a real world. And so that's something that I think it's really helpful for women when they're looking for men. The types of things that women turn men down for, when I'm coaching, it's like, hun, you might want to hold on to some of these guys. They're
Give me
not.
some of this. Give me some of the examples of men that women, you would say average women are turning down. I consider myself an average woman. Like, I really am. I'm 41. I got 2 kids, marriage, baggage, all of that. But if I was in the dating pool, I'm going to have to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, be
I think you have
realistic.
to choose your battles. So for me, I had to see what is the most valuable thing. To me, kindness. Because of my history, I realized kindness is everything. Because you're going to go through times where I'm in the wrong. I don't want you coming at me making me feel like an idiot, because I messed up. We're going to have imperfections. There are going to be difficult times. There's not always going to be the romance. At the end of the day, I realized I really want a good friend. And I want somebody who is truly kind to me and kind to others. I can't stand for people, they're rude to the wait staff, or they act like people are beneath them, or things like that. And I think that women a lot of times are listening to these, big time podcasters who are saying things, and it's all about the bag. And I do understand, like, the biggest thing I think that messes up women is the money. There's a difference between a guy who is just a bum, like he's in his mom's basement, he's not trying to do anything, he's trying to be a rapper at age 40. That's different. If he's an average guy who sells insurance and he's only making 80,000, right? Some people will overlook him if they're making 100,000. There's been this big push for women, they want someone who's making more than them, but the reality is they're not coming across those men, or those men are not choosing them, is actually a more accurate statement. There are men who make money, but if they're not being chosen. So what I would say is look at the people who approach you. That's your target market. And if you don't like who's approaching you, then you have to level up in some way. So for me, I knew when I was out there in the dating market, I could afford to lose weight. I need to make sure I take care of myself. I'm on dating apps, which is what I did because I hated going outside. But I had to make sure that I, had something to wear that was attractive. I had to make sure my profile looked good. I couldn't be a Debbie Downer talking about what I won't do. There are a lot of things that we can do to push people away without realizing it. And so that's probably the biggest thing I would want women to know is you are an active participant in what happens to you. But a lot of times there's this victim mindset. It's all because of men. No, you can get different results if you change your attitude, your posture, your weight. There are a lot of things that can take effect.
What are some of because you said women have a lot of delusions when it comes to dating. Did you name some of those? Were those some of the delusions that you were talking about? Like, she makes 100, he makes 80. Me, I would see that as potential because if he makes 80 and I come together, we make 180, and then I'm gonna help him to bring that up, and then we're gonna bring that up, and then we're on the same level. And then if we happen to get divorced, it's only a $20,000 difference that we came in. You got to kind of weigh it that way. That's how I think.
And your living expenses, your living expenses are going to be cut in half. I don't think you're going to live 2 houses forever. So a lot of times women will say, oh, I'm used to this lifestyle. I'm used to traveling and da, 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 da. It's one thing for you to pay for a $200 bag, $400 bag. It's one thing for you to afford a $1,000 trip. It's another for a man to have to pay for his lifestyle plus 2 people traveling, 2 people having expenses. And a lot of times there's this mindset that I want to, have the money that I'm making and be balling out of control, but it's my money. His money is our money. It's an unrealistic understanding of finances. My ex-husband.
You're saying women actually think that way?
Oh, I hear it all the time. I had a woman say she wanted to divorce her husband because she felt like he wasn't as much of a hustler as she was. They had children together. He was a good husband, but she's just like, I just want someone that's like more of a go-getter.
So she want a trick. She want a trick.
Sip my water.
That's what it sounds like. She wants somebody to pay for services.
Yeah. Or they don't understand what men want. So it's what I call the princess mentality, where it's imagine, some princess sitting on a throne somewhere with the big court, and the court jester comes in and she's like, perform for me, court jester. That is kind of the attitude that a lot of women have. I'm fabulous, which you should think you're fabulous. I have this to offer, blah, blah, blah. But your attitude shouldn't be one of entitlement. Like, come perform for me. Let's see if I'm entertained. And a lot of men are waking up. We are having these podcasts and we're having conversations, and men are understanding their worth and knowing I'm more than my wallet. And so they're having these attitudes, going on dates or just sitting on their phone. I don't know if you've heard this, but men have told me horror stories over and over again that women are asking to go to restaurants that sometimes they can't even afford. It's just, hey, this is an opportunity to get a free meal. But 2, asking for men to pay for food for their children. I have had multiple men say that the women have said, I need you to pay for childcare. It's expensive getting childcare. If you want to take me out. Oh, and also this hair ain't free, these nails ain't free, and my makeup is not cheap, and my outfit. So I need you to run me about 2. Like, I have heard crazy stories, but if you go on social media and you see some of these dating coaches, they're going to, I just saw one, I DM it to you, when we're done. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, the advice. And these women are following them in droves, and they're taking this empowerment and I'm great, and they're twisting it. Because you are awesome. You should know that you are the best version of you, and any man is going to be lucky to have you. But you should also say, but how can I grow? I'm sure there are areas that I can, improve upon. That's
just, and you know what? That's why I asked you to come on the show, because they feel like I'm heavily disconnected from the dating scene out here because I've been married 20 years, right? And I'm still married and very happily married. So they're like, Tasha, you don't know what it's like out here. You don't see what's going on. So I'm like, okay, I got you, hoes. And so I went and got you, right? So I'm like, because I saw you spend some real shit on your page. And I'm like, okay. And then they feel like I be pandering to Black men or pandering to men in general. I'm a woman from the South, okay? And women from the South are raised very different from women elsewhere, okay? We are raised to you know, you get out of school, you go handle your business, but you want to have kids and get a husband that you can build with and grow with and serve
Yes.
your family for the rest of your life. Now,
Yes.
I do all of that and I still have a career. You know what I'm saying? Like I can stop, just like I was doing a podcast out in California, right? And for a very big comedian, just to give you an example of how I have to do things. My husband, everybody came out and started eating. We had a little break, and then one of the people wanted to talk to me because they were a fan of the show. And so I'm like, well, give me a second. I gotta go fix my husband a plate.
That part.
And you should have saw their face, like, I mean, but it's right there. I said, but I'll be right back. I'm going to fix my husband a plate, and we'll continue this. Like I said something foreign. I'm like, I am a Southern woman. Like
you had no
like
shoes
those
on.
values. And my husband likes those values, but he gives me something that Southern women love: security, chivalry, all those things. I don't have to open up car doors. I don't have to pay you know, I don't have to pay bills. But here's the thing: if I don't pay bills, I have to live on a budget.
Hello.
Like, you can live the way you want to live, but you're just gonna live within our means.
Yes, but see, other women would say, no, you should just work harder, babe. I want that bag. I want that car. I want it. And they would just say, work harder. You're going, I want something. How do I supplement that? How do I meet him? There's something with me and my guy. I like to go, help mate. We are supposed to help each other. And I think a lot of times there is this, idea that is demeaning to serve your partner, but both people should be serving. I love to wait hand and foot on my guy. Literally, if I come and I cook for him, he has a rule. His butt is not allowed to get from the chair. If he needs something, he shouldn't need seasoning, but if he needs, some salt, or he needs a napkin or whatever, I am there to serve him. Because when the roles are reversed in some other area, I feel absolutely catered to. If he has to walk far or go get the car, we're going to go, there are so many ways it's reciprocated. And not just with women, but with people, period. They tend to have a one-track view of things. They only see when something is not serving them. They don't see all the times that someone is serving them back. So I look at it like, if you don't have to work, that is a luxury that people just really take for granted. It's a difference if you're working because you love it and you enjoy it. Mm-hmm. There is a difference between, if I don't get numbers on this video, I might not be able to pay my mortgage. That's a scary feeling. So, we can't undervalue what men are doing. And the pandering thing, luckily I don't get it a ton, but to me, the difference between a panderer and somebody like you, from what you're describing, someone like me, is we believe in the truth. And we're not going to censor ourselves to make women feel good. We're going to say the truth, whether it's chastising women, or we're going to say the truth, whether it's chastising men. And some people, they make a living just saying what makes people feel good. But at the end of the day, the legacy that I want to leave is people who have richer relationships, better connections, long-lasting relationships. Because having been in an unsuccessful relationship, it physically affected me. I mean, I could go into detail. I've done it on my show, but it weighed on me. I started having panic attacks. I would hyperventilate. It was crazy. Clinical depression. I believe in this stuff. And so if I tell you a bunch of stuff, sell you things that you don't need, and you're not happy at the end of the day, I have not served you at all. This should be stuff that kids can pass on for generation to generation, because healthy relationships are amazing. It's awesome. I want everyone to experience it.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna start interviewing some of these hoes that do, meet men and they get to keep their money, and then the men buy them everything. But what do they get in return from the man? Not all of his time. They're sharing his time, STDs. Like it's not a conversation. Well, he doesn't have to tell you what he's doing because he's paying for you, But and I'm a total believer. Like when my husband and I, when I met him, yes, we met at work, and then I got pregnant, and then I stayed home. That was back in 2006, right? 2005 or whatever. But what we did, right, is I flipped it. When I started working, I was like, baby, how about we do this? We live off my income because I made the less amount of money, and we stack yours.
Yes.
So we had more money to play with because we didn't live above our means. I worked what, 2-3 days a week, and I was a server. So that would be $600 a week, $200 a shift. Sometimes I would work a double depending on that. He would watch the baby when I worked those 3 days. Then when he went to work the 4 days, right? I would watch the baby. And when his income came in, we saved so much more and lived off of my income.
Smarter,
So if
not harder.
anything were to happen to him or get sick, we got savings, right? And I'm able to pay the bills just
Right.
off of me, because you have to understand life gets in the way. You
Hello.
never know if something's going to happen to either partner. But what if something happens to your partner and you have, babe, okay, you have this astronomical lifestyle that's over the
Mm-hmm.
top. How were you going to survive? And I'm seeing it
Yep.
happen amongst one of the ex-housewives, Kim and Croy. So Croy was the breadwinner,
Right.
so was Kim. But when Kim lost her gig, Croy, they was living off too, right?
I
Yeah.
followed that show for years. I didn't know she
Yeah.
lost her gig. Give me the tea, girl.
Well, we do.
Mm.
We do. So, she lost her gig. His football pension is only so much. Guess
Right.
what? Their lifestyles, they got behind on bills. And she was like, well, you're the man. You should be able to pay. So now they're behind on taxes, behind on the mortgage, getting ready to lose their house, fighting, selling valuables. She's refusing to
No.
help. Oh, it's a shit show, because it's
Oh,
like you did not prepare for the worst. You see
they
what
have
I'm
a lot
saying?
of
And a
kids.
lot of people are wanting these relationships, but it's like, but you
Mhm.
have to understand, like, do you have that 6 months to a year or
Yes.
even 2 years savings in case somebody gets
Yes.
sick, you
There's
know?
a there's a guy, I'm terrible with rappers, but I wanna say it's Gates. I think his name
Kevin
is,
Gates.
yes. Oh,
Yes.
he did this interview talking about how he wanted to, go away
Yeah,
permanently.
he wanted, yeah.
Right, the pressure. I don't know what we could say on YouTube. So, but he just all the pressure, and a lot of guys feel like women say, I don't want to feel like I'm just a body. Men don't want to feel like they're just a wallet, but so many men feel like their value is what they can bring financially, and that is a stressful situation. I will tell myself when I was married. My ex had all the things that they say, all the sixes, tall, had the money, all this stuff. And I had a princess mentality. My dad spoils me and everything. And so I had this mentality of just, okay, he's got it. And I wasn't a bad person. I just was so naive. And he was old school, where, like, I'm not going to talk about anything. If there's ever any pressure, I just get it done. And in this time in my life, I want my partner to feel like I'm in the trenches with you. I don't want to be over here like, I just need this stuff. I need the reality. And I would rather have a very, very, very happy and successful relationship on a budget, like what you talked about, than flexing for, which usually is the Joneses, because at the end of the day, that stuff doesn't make you happy. I'd rather have that security. I believe you should always have 3 months of living expenses on reserve. You should always have your stuff. I don't believe in credit cards except for getting points. And all
Mhm.
these things that we're talking about. I love my points.
Right.
Just found one with 5% yesterday, and my guy was cracking up. He's like, "You're way too excited about that." But these are the things that being together, that's what relationships, I think, benefit. The sum is greater. What is it? The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's not about having this arm candy on your arm or be able to take pictures for the gram, for the pajama pictures. Like, those things are nice. But at the end of the day, you have a partner to build with, to lean on. God forbid you get sick. You need someone that's going to help you. So I just think that a lot of people are serving women poorly because they're painting it out to be not even not valuable. Like, they're acting like they don't need men at all. As long as you have money, girl, you don't need a man. What is he gonna do for me? I could
Didn't
pay for all
I,
that.
look, I was just talking to my sister about that today. Y'all ain't got no men, but y'all got dogs, and y'all buying babies out the sperm clinic.
I don't know
What?
about you, but I need a whole man. Like, I love the essence of a man. I love
I do
everything.
too. I love to be courted.
Yes.
I
And
do.
I
I
love
love,
to be able to
and
say,
and
there's
and
the
whatever
bud.
I get myself into, he will make sure he finds a way to help get us out of it, and
Yes.
vice versa. I do the same thing. So, and he knows that if something were to happen to him, his kids are gonna be straight. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, I could
Yep.
lose all this tomorrow. My wife gonna know how to get it out the mud. Okay,
Right.
again, you
And
know.
if I could say this too, part of the problem is that, you talked about my tagline, helping you vet men. One of the biggest things is that women don't know the signs of what to look for. So they will come out all big-eyed and excited and hopeful, hopeless romantic, and they'll pour into a guy who it's like the big bad wolf, he's got the horn, the fangs, and
Mhm.
the fur, but Little Red Riding Hood didn't see it. And now she goes, that's how all men are. All men move dirty, all men. But if you know how to vet, and you only take time with the guys who are eligible bachelors, because it's one thing if you date a guy, you're just not a good fit. It doesn't leave you with emotional scars and heartache and trauma. But if you manage to get a guy and you know how to treat him, oh my God, the softer side of Sears. Like if you take a man
Mm.
and you get to pour into him and he lets his guard down and he's vulnerable, men are incredible. So when I hear women talking about men ain't this, I'm like, not the ones I
I
encounter,
know.
because
Yeah, I done
I've met
made
some phenomenal
some
men.
hard men very, very soft, and I like them like
Yeah.
what are some of the things that women should look for when vetting? Like, can you name some of those things? Especially now, because they say I don't know shit. So I say, okay, let me go get somebody who I hear. I got you.
Um, yeah, I would say look at how he talks about women. People like to say, oh, my social media isn't real life. Yes, it is, because you're a real person and you posted it. So
Mm,
if he's putting a ton of posts objectifying women, making demeaning jokes, there's always a little truth in jokes. I would look at that first. I would also look at how does he talk. I just did a video for my patrons, 11 signs he just wants the cheeks. But one of them is how disrespectful he is and casual with his tongue. So if he comes in off the top like, girl, you're looking good in that stripe, like, whoa, I'm sorry. I'm Tasha. You don't know me like that. That
mhm.
type of energy. But a lot of times women take it as flattery because media says you want to be sexy. You want to be sexy. You got to be sexy. You can't be big stars and things like that. And it's all about being sexy, sexy, sexy. You don't want to be sexy for a man. You want to be beautiful to a man, because you want a man who
Mm.
looks at you and says, I want to take her home to mom, as opposed to taking her home to bed. And that's the biggest thing women don't realize is men will instantly, if you're cute and you get a physical reaction out of him, he's putting you in one of two categories. And you don't normally have a category when he first sees you. It's once you open your mouth, or he sees the way you're dressing, or he goes to your social media profile and every picture is taken from behind. And women say, well, he shouldn't objectify me. I work hard for my body. I want to show it off. That's fine. I could also say I wish gravity didn't work, but it is what it is. Men will say what category to put you in based on how you present yourself. And so if that guy is coming to you and he's like, oh, girl, you looking, I bet I could, you correct him immediately, he actually might go from thinking she was just a booty call to, I'm gonna take her seriously. Some guys, other
Mhm.
guys will just excuse themselves. And so what happens is that guy who came at you sideways and you quickly checked him, like, sir, you don't know me like that. Watch your hands. Now all of a sudden he's ghosting you. If you're an insecure person or you don't understand the dynamics, you're heartbroken going, oh my God, what happened? As opposed to, whoo, dodged a bullet. And I want my women to know there are some you want to exit stage right. You want them to excuse themselves and show. Let me see if I can give you a couple more. You want to look at consistency. That is the number one thing men cannot fake. They cannot fake consistency. They can send you some dry little text, WYD, what you doing? A little acronym, not gonna spell it out. They could send you a little
Mhm.
dry text every now and then. But if he's doing that at booty call hours, that is a red flag. So you don't hear from this man all day long. All of a sudden at 10, 11, you up? You get to you up? Not hi, how are you? This is real stuff, girl. You're lucky you out of here. Okay. You up? What's
I
good?
ain't trying to get back out there either, so I make sure I pour into my marriage. I ain't trying to get back out there. Y'all can have that shit. Look.
You don't want none of that. You don't want none of that. Even a hazmat suit. So they'll do that. So what they're doing is they'll send it out to all women in their phone. And then you get some little girl who didn't, have someone teach her better. And she'd be like, hi, hey, big head. And then, you want to Netflix and chill. The next thing you know, she's over there. He's pressuring her for intimacy. And now she's like, I think we go together because no, girl, you were just his Tuesday night special. So if he's only contacting you during booty call hours, he's not contacting you consistently. And if he is contacting you consistently, is he actually trying to get to know you? Is he keeping it, surface level? Oh, the game. Oh, I saw this thing on social media. Or is he talking about your childhood? What are some of the things that went wrong in your last relationship? What do you
Is
want
he
from a partner?
opening up to you?
Yeah. Because if you
Yeah.
think about it, a guy who genuinely likes you, all he knows is that you're cute. It takes conversation to know if you're actually worth it to him. He should be vetting you. So if he's not vetting you, there's a reason.
Oh
Because he's
shit. So like you doing the vetting, he's supposed to be vetting you too. Like, okay. So if he's not doing no vetting, then he's just not that into you.
Yeah, and I have walked away from guys like that. I'm like, we talked for 2 weeks. You don't know nary a thing about me, like a thing about me. But I got, the booty, I got, you don't know anything deep. So that's a huge, huge giveaway. And a lot of the stuff that I give, I like to give in my private classes only because I never want it to fall into the wrong hands, and men be like, oh,
Gotcha.
let me start to. So I'm trying to keep it slightly vague for your viewers, but it is something that's hard to fake the funk. And men will say, well, if he wants the cheeks, he could still fake this. When you really know what to look for, there's a depth to it that you can't fake. So like I
Like
said,
what?
like the level of communication. So she might say, well, he hits me up every day. Is it during booty call hours? Is it simple text? A man who really likes you is going to want to hear your voice, because as women, we don't provide things. We provide experiences. Men pay for things. We give our essence. So they can experience you through a text message, but they can hear you giggling on the phone and, laughing at his jokes and, being shy. They can hear that through the phone, and even more, they want to see it in person. So he's going to be wanting to talk to you daily. And the other thing is, he's going to want to tie you up during booty call hours. And that sounded terribly wrong. He's going to want to tie up your time during booty call hours. So my guy, when we were getting to know each other, we started out long distance. Please believe we were on the phone between the hours of 7 and 10. Like, he clogged up my phone. Like, nobody was getting through. He made sure my attention was on him. And if a guy is just leaving your let me clarify. There's cupcake hours and there's booty call hours. So cupcake hours, a guy who's serious about you is gonna be in your face. Booty call hours, he will be letting you sleep because he knows you're a woman with business and you have to tend to. So from like 7 to 9, I was talking to my girls the cupcake hours. So you want a guy to be in your face, whether it's in person or on the phone during that time, because he knows that's the time when you're winding down, you're getting ready for bed. And this is the time a guy could slip in and capture your heart. So during the day, he knows you're going about your day, text you, whatever. But at night, hey girl, you free? And that's what you said, old school, sitting on the phone, twisting the phone cord, like,
Well, I ain't got nothing I'm doing. You want to slide through? I gotta come to you? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No. Okay, so I'm sure that dating advice is for a specific age group. But what about when the women are in their 50s and 60s and 70s and want to date? What is your advice for them? How do they vet somebody that's 70? The fuck?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. They're still looking for the same things, but I hate to say this, you have to be slightly more flexible. So there are 3 categories when you are going through what you want in a guy. You have your absolute deal breakers, where it's just like, I'd rather be single than. Like, I'm not getting with someone who's on the predator list. It's deal breakers. And then the preferences, like, I would like to have this or that. And then you have I absolutely must have this. So he doesn't have any things that are bad, on the bad list, but he also doesn't have this. And I was going to make a joke and say he doesn't have teeth, but I always make jokes about side teeth.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's okay. No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
So, so you want to go through that list. So what I would say is the things that should be flexible are your preferences, not your deal breakers and not your must-haves. So you could say he must have a relationship with God. He cannot have, I'll give you a perfect example. Your preference might be, I don't want someone with baby mama because, I don't want baby mama drama. When you start to get older, a lot of men and kids. Maybe you need a little more flexible on that. Or maybe the woman says, I only want one baby mama. But now you're eliminating guys who have 2 baby mama. And then maybe those kids are grown and you're not really interacting with the ex. So those types of things they can be flexible on. Or, I want to travel twice a year. Well, maybe his budget only allows one trip a year, and maybe you have to supplement with your, those are the types of things. But I see a lot of women who, they are not the kind of woman that can pull a ton of men, and they're being very, very, very selective. That is a scary thing. So at the end of the day, that's what I said. You have to really choose what you value. Mine, sense of humor. Do we get along? Are we great friends? And I'm not that person who says looks don't matter. They absolutely matter. Like, I need to attract to my person and I want them attracted to me. But at the same time, are you trying to get like a 10, 10, 10? I'm not telling you you got to squint till a little bit and have a couple of shots to deal with him. But it should be someone who maybe isn't as swaggy, or maybe someone who doesn't have a sexy career, or those things, or maybe he has to fix up certain things. You've seen women who take their men and fix them up, like a good haircut.
Oh, they told me, oh no, you didn't. I said that. I was like, what is wrong? When I met my husband, he used to wear high waters. I just told him, baby, can we get some pants that are longer?
A little direction.
You know what I'm saying? Can you put a beard in?
It's like a diamond in the rough. It's like people with talent.
I mean, it's no different than him saying, baby, you know what? Can you cut your hair off? Can you wear this as opposed to that? I'm like, what is wrong with that? Like, it's not like I'm having to go spend money on it, but like, I kind of built him into my man, right?
Yeah, you have to. That's why Beyonce said,
okay, for me not to sway, I need to look like this. Okay. I'm like, my favorite part about a man is his arms. I'm like, baby, I got him some push-up thing. He doing push-ups, so his arms look nice. Now when he go out, women everywhere like, oh wow, you look nice. I'm like, see,
it's like the people who know how to find the fixer-upper on the street. All the neighbors are gonna be glad, right? Because you brought the property value. But if it has good bones, and you're like, oh, it just needs a different lawn, get that lawn together, new window treatments, replace the roof, you're Gucci. But the people would have been crawling all over it had someone already done that. So you kind of get a deal. And the other thing is, if you have a guy who does not know that he's a 10, you don't have to deal with the oversized ego of have you seen those guys on Instagram now who are like,
I saw one last night. I was like,
in
wow.
the camera.
He wasn't in the camera. It was his.
Oh.
He got a whole fight. There's this guy. I'm not gonna say his name or whatever, even though they probably would want me to. But he posts videos. He's a very, very attractive guy, but he posts videos in his boxers, and he allows his dick to get hard. And through his boxers, he's doing exercises or just things around the house, and it's like a whole nother leg. And it's like, and I'm like,
you got his Instagram and his Prince Instagram.
Yeah, and he's cleaning his own house. I'm like, why is he cleaning his own house? I mean, you obviously attractive. You look like you got a package to offer. So why are you cleaning your own house?
It's the need for attention. It's so funny.
It's the ego. Like,
it is. And they're always going to need that from other people. That's one thing. Like, I would never want someone who's like an influencer, or because sometimes those people need that attention for validation. Like, if your sole purpose is just you're the package, not you're selling a product or service, it's just you. And you have to be sexy. But there was a post where it came up on my, suggested feed or whatever in my Explorer. And it was so cringy because in my mind, because I love creating and filming, I'm thinking about the actual shoot and how it looks. So I'm like, camera's propped up, and you're giving all these like smoldering eyes, all this stuff. It's cringy. And then you're watching it. Women are, yes, this is so sexy. But then the other one woman said exactly what I thought. She said, there's something about a guy who's hot who doesn't quite know he is. I will take that guy any day than the guy who,
I got mine. Listen, I knew he was the one when he asked me what my favorite book was. And I was like, you read?
Right. Subject, verb, agreement. That's my thing. Subject, verb, agreement.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. The thing that made me marry him was every morning when I woke up with him, or I didn't, and I was at home, he would call me and say, "Good morning." How did you sleep?
Mm.
That had me. And he had on high waters.
Do you know that some women say they don't like a good morning text? Like I've seen posts that are anti good
No,
morning
he would
text.
not.
I'm like,
We had phones and he would not text. He don't even text me good morning. He calls me to this day. Good morning. He woke up this morning. Good. He'll stand over the bed and he's got like his shirt off and he looking outside. He's like, "Good morning. How'd you sleep?" And I'm like, good." He still does that. It's like that's
I
it. That's all
love
I
it.
need. I don't need much. Like
I love it.
you
And if you do it
care.
right, you can enjoy your relationship because you see bitter people in the comment talking trash about their spouse or
Mhm.
hating on marriage and all that. I'm like, why did you pick that person? Like, I want to
And
be
it says
stupid.
more
Google it.
about you than it does about your spouse. Like when you dragging them like that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he ain't said shit about you, but you all like going the fuck off. Are we projecting here? I had a friend like that, man. Every time I turn around, her husband, fine as fuck, right? Fine. Every time I turn around, it didn't matter. It could be new people, old people. She dragging him. And I had to tell
I
her
don't
one day, I said, you know somebody gonna fuck
understand
your
that.
husband. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, girl, you always dragging him. You always in it. I mean, he works 2 jobs. You ain't gotta work. Well, he needs to
Mm.
work harder. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, it's just, I'm being honest with you. There's gonna be a woman that's gonna show him appreciation and they ain't gonna cuss him out or talk bad about him. And somebody gonna fuck your husband. Like, and it ain't no coming back from that. Well, if he do that, we good, we done. I'm like, but you act like you don't want him, like the way you talk
Right.
bad about him. I'm like, that is a nice looking man there, honey. Like,
I have a series called the 10 Commandments of Dating, and that's one of the biggest ones is respect and speaking life. You know, if you go biblical, there's power of life and
mhm,
death in the tongue. And when a man commits to a woman, she is the highest in value of opinions. You know, her 10 people could say it, but if she says it, it's very impactful. And so I don't think that women truly understand the level of vulnerability a man has with a woman. And so she's tearing him down. She's putting him in just such a terrible place. And there's a book called How to Build an Affair Proof Marriage. And that's one of the biggest sections talking about if you're making it feel uncomfortable, because remember I said it's the essence of a woman. Men are here for the essence. We're not usually supplying tangibles. So if the essence is a negative thing, they get a whiff of a positive essence at work. And this is not,
mhm.
pass cheat. But it's like saying, if you understand certain things, you're not going to put him in a situation to fail. Why would you put him in a vulnerable situation? You know, you don't put food on the table or the low on the table for the dog, the kids, and then wonder why they ate it. Don't put it on the table, low. But that's the thing. So a lot of women will come in and they're speaking life into him. They're saying he looks handsome. That's the other thing. Women will say, I don't want to gas him up. I don't need to do like he's not human. I don't want to feel complimented too. He got his little chest
Yeah.
puffed out. Comment. Oh, I see a
That
little. I
was
see a
that
little
was
chest.
one of the first things my mama told me. It's like I was like, Mom, how do you treat a man? Because I saw her and my daddy fist fighting shit. And she said, you honestly want to know? She said, what? She said, just compliment him. And I was like, compliment him? She said, yeah, like tell him how great he looks. Tell him how, good of a man he is. Thank him if he does something for you. And I'm like,
Basics.
what?
The basics.
And
It's
I'm like, that
literally.
works? She said, that works. Just a
I
simple thank
asked.
you.
I asked my guy like, "What do you want?" And I'm ready for this list because Lord knows as women we got a list. I want
Mhm.
this, and I like physical affection. I like words of affirmation. I'm da, da, da. He's like, "Cook for me." That's it. Like the most basic. And I love spoiling him. I love pouring into him. I try to be the partner to him that I want in return, whether it's affection, words of affirmation, just being
Mhm.
kind and considerate. And I think that sometimes because of these caricatures that the media paints of men, that there's just these stoic men who don't have feelings or just go out and get the bag, they don't realize they actually have fears and hopes and insecurities and the jokes when people are in couples. Like I hate that when I'm somewhere, if someone says something, oh yeah, my husband sucks at that, I'm just like, why? That was
There's
one
a
of the
lot of
first
things
things
he
I
can say you suck at too.
look. I'm like, do not tell me. I told my guy when I first met him, if you need to correct me, do not do it in public, and please don't ever put me down in public like that. You get me to shut down immediately. You don't have to agree with what I said, But wait till we get in the car and be like, you were all the way wrong, man. Like, you should have your person's back in public. You guys should be unified. And just like you wouldn't trash yourself, why are you trashing your person? Like, they should feel the best when they are with you. And then when you do have to constructively criticize, it doesn't feel like you're tearing them down. It's like, I genuinely want to listen because normally she's so pleasant and uplifting. And if she's saying something, this must really be something salient.
Right. Now, listen, I could talk to you for hours and stuff like that. And I'm glad because I know you say you don't do a lot of interviews and stuff. So I'm honored that you really took the time to come, bless our viewers with your knowledge and stuff.
I'm the crazy girl.
Because you was like, why you want to talk to me? I was like, no. I come in peace.
Because some people, they just want clips. Like, I'll give you one example. I know I don't want to hide your thing.
It's okay.
I gave an example, and I have to go crazy for women to understand things sometimes, or crazy for men to understand. And I give metaphors. So I said, men, this is the equivalent of what you're asking. And I gave a hypothetical, intentionally goofy scenario. Like, you just met a woman and you put her name on the deed. Literally, that's what I was equating to you meeting her and expecting her to give it up that night. I gave a hypothetical. This guy put me in a compilation video of stupid things that women say online. And he clipped it to where it sounded like I was saying, if you meet a woman, you should put her on the deed the next day. And I'm like, bruh.
Oh, wow. No, I don't play those games. No, we don't do that.
So I'm like,
we deal with authentic content over here. Yeah. No, but I was going to ask you, I know you said if you want to know 22 places to meet men offline, and you have a link to that. So I was wondering if you could give us 5, and then our viewers will happily click the link to get the other, 18? Yeah, 18, 19.
Right. You're better than me with math.
Yeah. So I was like, what? But I was counting backwards like Sukiyana, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck it.
Y'all do math and then get them.
She gave up at the I said, you count backwards and you get frustrated. You didn't even get to see it yet. I said, that damn Sukiyana, damn it. What are some of the 5 places that men can meet? I mean, that women can meet men.
Y'all, this is a pop quiz because she didn't
offline.
You got offline, exactly. So I just want you to know, y'all, this is off the top of the dome, okay? All right, so the first one, car washes. Men don't play about washing their car. So they do gym, they do car washes, and their haircuts. You don't look like a creep. You can't hang out at a barbershop unless you got a nephew or son. Like, you look weird. But you can't go to the gym. That's another one. The gym and the car wash. I'll give you 2 off top. So next time you're planning to go, prepare, wear a sundress. Oh, I just happened to stop by after whatever, right? A lot of times there are waiting rooms where you just have nothing but time. And so one of the keys, remember I was saying earlier, a lot of times people will encounter men not realizing it because they're not giving choosing signals. So choosing signals are ways that men know it's okay to approach, because they never want a woman to be like, why are you coming up to me? So as boring as it is, try to have your head out of your phone. Don't be looking down, because you want to be able to make eye contact. So sit there, maybe have, if you have music or something, just have 1 AirPod, not 2, because they want to know that it's okay to approach. So there's a little extra bonus with the car wash.
Okay.
Then the gym. And so instead of just the standard gym, it's like, well, how do you approach them if they're working out? But if you tend to go around the same time, you tend to see the same men. But if you join a fitness class, like there are kickboxing, a lot of co-ed classes. If you do those types of things, people naturally mill around at the beginning and at the end. So it's a natural thing to be able to be like, oh my God, I thought I was going to die. The cycling class, or like LA is big for cycling and things like that. So specifically get in a class, or like a CrossFit, or a smaller, more intimate gym setting. You
know what? I was in CrossFit for a little while. I mean, I tend to do it when I want to challenge myself. And there was a lot of men, especially Black men, that were in there that were single, and they weren't egotistical. And CrossFit is a very kind of communicative environment. So which means it's a family. They call it essentially a cult. So they do, because it's like we're always trying to outbeat ourselves every time. It could be, plus and the minus. Like I'm not in competition with nobody but myself.
Right.
That's so serious. But yeah, no, you're very right about that. And go ahead. So that's 3 places. You got 2 more.
Okay. So was it 3? I think
it was the gym. Oh no, that was 2, and the car wash.
I'm trying to be honest.
We got 3 more. Look at me counting like Sukiyana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck it.
Your glass.
Go ahead.
Okay. Another one is cigar lounges. That is a male male. Oh my God.
You
And
are right. Yes, you are.
they're expensive. Cigars are expensive. Like I talked to a guy briefly. He was dropping 60 every time he was getting more cigars. So you're going to get a more sophisticated guy. You're going to get a guy who has more discretionary income. The only downside is if you don't handle smoke, I hate smoke. It gets in my hair for days. That's the downside. But sometimes they have outdoor patios and things like that. So cigar lounge is good. The fourth one is places that show the game. So I never tell people to go to bars because that's like the hookup. It's like bars are like the what's the dating app? Tinder. It's like the Tinder of dating apps. So you want to go to a place that's a restaurant or at least a sports bar that's not, that hookup kind of vibe. We went to go catch a game. There's this cool spot in Dallas. Men upon men upon men. Hardly anyone had women at the table. Like a few people had a couple, but I mean, it was just guy after guy after guy. And so they're watching the game. It's a laid back environment. People started talking to each other across tables. That's a good vibe. And you could even go somewhere where there's a professional sports game. Like don't rule out college games either. Go to your local college and things like that. But when people are coming out, you're going to see a lot of people. So you could make yourself, around or go to dinner where, a big sporting event comes out. Okay, that's 4, I think. And then a fifth one. What's a fifth one? Oh, the driving range. You're not going to see a lot of women. So I would say the golf course because it's expensive. Like who has money for, joining a country club? So the driving range, for those who don't know the sport, you just get a big basket of balls. You pay for a bunch of balls. I think you bring your own clubs, but you're just sitting there like, knocking it off the thing, like in Topgolf. But this is an outdoor environment. It's not. It wouldn't be weird to kind of brush shoulders and meet somebody again. There's not gonna be a lot of women, so wear a cute little golf outfit, whatever. Be cute and come out there. The biggest thing I would say too is, in addition to not being occupied, like don't have your ears with buds in them or facing the phone, try not to go in a pack. You have to be very confident to do this. Try to not go in a pack. And if you do go with at least a buddy, because you don't need by yourself, break away often. Find an excuse to go to the restroom, go to the bar to get a napkin. Find reasons to stray from the pack, because then the wolf can pounce. They're not going to want to come up in a big old group of cackling women. That's just too intimidating. It's not that it's scary, but some women are intense and they like to make fun and all.
What you talking to my friend for? How much you make? Putting them on the spot. Let me ask you something. Do men approach women when they hang with gay men?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't think it would be a deterrent. But I will say though, probably more the woman vibe that would turn them off.
Say that again.
The woman's vibe. So let's say, for example, what comes to mind, a lot of women that maybe hang. I gotta step cautiously. There is a playfulness, like the that type of energy,
the flamboyantness. Yeah.
Right. So that's something that it might be a turn off, that part, if the woman is like an over the top type of person, because that community likes to do a lot of the makeup, the over the top, whatever. And so the woman in that environment, she might be in that space. And so that might be a deterrent more so than actually who she's keeping company with. But I will say, if he can't tell he's gay, yes, that might be a deterrent. Because
Because I mean, sometimes I think men looking across the room, and you may be single, but if you have a man with you, I personally think, if you have a gay man with you and he's very feminine, some men could be like, oh, I don't want to walk over there. Maybe he's gonna try to hit on me. Or two, if you have a gay man but he doesn't act gay,
right? Yeah, you don't
take that as your man.
No blockers. And some men look like they are and they're not. So I've made that mistake before. I thought he was a cis and he was like, no. Yeah, you just never know. So I wouldn't risk anything. I just wouldn't have any Negroes around me.
Real men, look, most heterosexual men, they don't want no man around you because they're like, he got a dick.
Facts.
You saying he gay? Yeah, right. That's what he told you.
He waiting for his opportunity.
That is so funny. Now, do you give dating advice to women finding women? Like, do you get a lot of LGBTQ members and stuff? I don't think
So
they have any issues in the dating world because the LGBTQ they always coming for me because I tell them they hypersexual as fuck. Yeah, I would
you're
rather
saying you
fuck
don't think
first.
they have issues?
Yeah, they hypersexual. I'll be like, y'all fuck first, then get to know each other later. I tell them all the time. They be like, "Oh, that is so homophobic." No, it's not. Y'all literally, that's why y'all got bathhouses. Y'all can go to bathhouse, just get fucked, and then we're gonna start a relationship after because the sex was great.
Oh my
Or
God.
Tinder.
I have heard there's a lot of volatility within that community because you're dealing with a lot of similarities. But I actually had someone slide in my DM and ask if I make content. I do make content exclusively for the heterosexual community. I will say
Okay.
that. And guys ask me to like, are you gonna make content for men? And it's just not my calling. I really have a passion for speaking to women on how to get men, and that's my expertise.
You know
So
your lane and you stick it to
that
it.
I do say it applies in general when it comes to feminine and masculine. So even
Okay.
within homosexual relationships, there's a feminine and a masculine energy. You notice you're not going to see two butch girls or what's the word studs, or you're not going to see two flamboyant men. Typically, there's usually a masculine and a feminine within each. So anybody watching could still apply a lot of the stuff that they just applied.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Listen, Yonci, I can talk to you all day, and I'm definitely gonna have you back on the show in the future. And I hope that you will accept the invite. I think you're very pragmatic. I think you're very real, very authentic, and we're missing that a lot, you know. And I like that you don't pander because I get told all the time, "Oh, you pander, you're male identified," because I want to serve my man. He serves me.
That
So
part.
why would I expect somebody to serve me and I don't
Yeah.
serve them back? That's crazy. That's like being in a friendship with somebody. I want them to do everything to be a friend, but I don't want to reciprocate that. That's crazy to me. And I just
Yeah.
think the world is just kind of moral compass is slightly it's just fucking it's turned over. So
Yeah.
I want you to go ahead and, of course they can follow you on Chasing Yonci, your website, any courses that you sell, because I know you are a dating coach and you
Oh,
teach
thank
women
you.
how to properly vet men and tap into their feminine energy and attract true love. If they want to reach out to you or buy some of your books and courses and stuff like that, tell them where they can find you and go to purchase those things.
So you can get my course at chasingyonci.com. You can go directly there, but the best way is just slide in my DM. I really like
And that's not in
one-on-one
the
conversation.
DM.
I do. I really do. You can go to the link in my bio, but it's funny. I greet every single follower who follows me, and people think I'm a bot. I'm like, no, I'm really over here texting you. I really like to connect. So if they have a question, they can DM me. But you can go to my website and get my course, Dating 101.
Okay.
It's a crash course on dating. It's 4.5 hours long. There are over 50 printable worksheets. You go through little by little by little. But if you follow my my Instagram page, every month I try to put some fresh content out there. Like this month is the first month I'm actually going to be doing a class. You're the first person I've told. I haven't told anyone.
Okay.
I'm doing a relationship class. I have had people hit me up like, I took your advice and now I'm in a relationship and I want to make sure it stays popping. So I'm going to be doing a class for people who are in a relationship. And if I can, they can also go to my YouTube. We have conversations. If you think this was fun, we talk every Tuesday night with men and women. So far, I've just had an all-male panel. I'm bringing the women back. I used to do it years ago, but I brought it back, and we have heart-to-heart conversations. And we don't get into name calling, cat fights, and I don't do the sound bites like I was telling you about.
Yeah.
I genuinely want men to feel like it's a safe space, so women can understand, and vice versa. So it'll be interesting. Maybe one day.
And what city are you located in? Do you meet with people one-on-one too?
I do. Well, not for coaching as of right now, but I do host events. So I was in Los Angeles until very recently. I
was gonna say you got that LA accent going on. It's so perfect.
I totally try to hide it.
Anytime I talk to somebody from LA, their accent is just so perfect. I'm like, oh, shut up.
Oh, they call it the broadcast English,
Yeah, y'all all do sound like broadcasters. Like it's true. Like
yes, coming to you live back in the studio, Jim. So I am not.
In the words, it's like because I always like I'm from the South, so dark skinned women we speak different. You know what I'm saying? Like I say we talk different, even though that's not proper English. You're supposed to say we speak differently. But I remember I had a friend that I met. This was back in 2002, 2003. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, she was from LA. And I used to laugh at the way she spoke because it was like you. She was a chocolate woman, very beautiful woman, very successful. And I'm like, why do you talk like that? I used to ask her, like, why are you talking like that? You trying to talk, it sounds fake. Like,
Yeah, and I used to get hung up on. So it's so funny. My parents so strict, and we had an actual script of what we had to say when the people called. We were the Johnsons, right?
yeah.
So we would have to do this. Thank you, or good afternoon. Thank you for calling the Johnson residence. This is Yonci speaking. How can I help you? That was actually what we had to say. People would be like, click, and then they look it up, dial it back, da, 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 and I say it again. They're like, girl, is that you? I said, yes. Like, we have to. Merry Christmas. Thank you for calling the
Y'all
Johnson residence.
really do. It's cute though. It took me a while to get to know it. I was like, y'all really talk like this for real. Like this ain't y'all really about this. You know what I'm saying? And me, I come in the room, hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Y'all ready to get fucked up? You know.
They tease me mercilessly. I'll say things like condiments. I'm like, girl, it's ketchup and mustard. I'm like, but condiments encapsulates everything that I want. Like, girl, now somewhere. Where are you located? I'm in Dallas now. I moved to Dallas.
Okay, great.
Where are you based out of?
That is amazing. That is amazing. No, but like I said, I can talk to you all day. Thank you so much for coming through and just dropping jewels. Because like I said, they say I'm disconnected. I've been married too long. I don't know what it's like out here. But I'm like, but even if I were to enter the dating climate, do I want to? Absolutely not. But it's gonna be practical. It's gonna be practical. It's gonna be, I'm not gonna be expecting nobody to be making no millions of dollars. First of all, I don't want it because the more money they make, the less time they got to spend with me because people don't understand when you make that kind of money, you don't get a lot of time with a person because they got to keep it coming in. But if you get somebody making 6 figures, he get 2 days off a week and that could be the 2 days for you. And if he's not spending it with you, he don't want you because the first thing my grandmama told me was like, how you know a man wants you? He spent all his extra time with you. When he get off work, he can't wait to see you and talk to you and stuff. He don't go home and get himself together and then wait till 10 o'clock to call you. That nigga don't fucking want you. He wants some pussy. So that's how my grandmama them told me that shit. So, you know, but I'm like, it would be the same thing. My ass would be probably over there in Africa with a motherfucking dashiki on looking for my next nigga.
You're making me blush.
Delhi. They be like, you don't want to be out here. Now I'm gonna be out in the streets of Africa. I ain't gonna be over here, bitch. I'm gonna take me a trip.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on in these dating streets. I was glad to be rescued from them finally. I had 8 years of warfare and I came out barely standing. It was a lot, you know, but I held strong.
When I was out in the dating, it took 3 years. Now it's 8 years.
It was 8 years for me. Yeah, it was 8 years. Yeah. I would meet people within 5 minutes because I have like very good vetting skills. So within 5 minutes, next, like I could tell immediately. I like do not pass go. And I would just be like, Lord Jesus. And I have my affirmation. I said up on the fridge, the person I'm searching for is also searching for me. I had some come to Jesus moments. I had some, you know, venting to friends. Like I'm a dating coach and it's rough out here. That's why I say I'm in it in the trenches.
And I like because you light skin and you got pretty hair. And so and people say, oh, well, they got advantages. No, they don't. They still women, just like us with the nappy hair, you know, and dark skin, and they go through the same shit we go through. Real quick, we're gonna wrap this up though. Like I said, because I could talk to you all day like a girlfriend for real. Because we could really, really.
I know, like girl, call me.
I was on the south side. I hadn't been on the south side in a while. You know what I'm saying? Because I live on the north. It's a difference. You know, it's a lot of Jewish people where I'm at, you know, so I happened to go to the south side and I happened to walk into an American deli. This was in Atlanta and this was a couple weeks ago. And I'm walking across the street and I hear, hey, mama, hey, you hear me? And I'm like, I had no idea they were talking to me. I had no clue. So they pulled up behind me and was like, excuse me, I know you heard me yelling. I was on the phone, so you talking to me? Right. Yeah, you look good today.
You gonna take this compliment. You gonna take this compliment.
I said, do I know you? Nah. But I want to get to know you though. I said, so you yelled at me across the parking lot and then came over here, you still yelling? This how y'all asking? But it was the hood.
Yes. I got that the other day at the mall. I took my daughter shopping and I got the hey, you know, the little. And it was so loud. We're passing the table. Oh, you look good. And I was like, my daughter knows, like, we act like we didn't hear. We act like we deaf, dumb, and blind. And then we went on to our, and it was 4 construction workers. Eventually we sat down, we looked back and saw, but they were like, and then we went back.
Like I was
After
just
they said,
like,
have a
you
good
cannot.
day.
I thought we had evolved from those times, you know, because before back in the day, it used to be cute for a man to holler at you in a car, but now it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he was in a damn Toyota Corolla with donuts on it.
Oh, there was a video of women did what men did. They would be so scared. You know,
Hey,
they just
that
are
shit would be G. Hey, nigga. Hey, I know you hear me. How much money you make? How much money you make? Oh, fuck you. For real, we should do that. Like girls to the hood and just holler at niggas like they holler at us.
Oh my God, they wouldn't be able to handle it. Like if women were
like, what the hell going on?
take me to dinner. No, let's go to my bed right now. Like, come on,
right?
man.
Listen, fuck all that. I ain't got no money. I can't afford you, but we can go to my mama house and chill. My boy house around the corner.
I can't.
But nah, listen, thank you so much, Yonci. I appreciate all the jewels that you came through and dropped. And I hope the winos are able to take some of this back with them. And you said the same rules apply. So it don't matter if you're 25 or 85. It's the same shit. Just be realistic. You know what I'm saying? Be pragmatic. And you know, I think they're gonna take a lot from this video. Thank you again. Please, I encourage them to follow you on Chasing Yonci and you know, hitting you in your DM. And yeah, I think it was nice because, like I said, there's a lot of dating coaches that be reaching out to me, and I'm like, no, you're not getting on my platform because I'm gonna end up dragging you, especially if you ain't got no man.
I appreciate that, and I gotta say this because I just caught it. It's actually Yonci, like
Yonci.
Yes,
it's not Yonci. See, I'm Southern, so in LA it's Yonci. In Atlanta, Florida and Atlanta, it's Yonci.
It sounds more elegant. Yonci.
No, Yonci is a little. It's just a little. You know, Yonci is. Oh, that's Yonci mean, bitch. I'm coming for your head. Okay, keep playing. Thank you so much, Yonci. I really appreciate it. And we will definitely have you back, okay? And with that being said, all you got to do is say, now I got to go, bye.